It's nice to get a whole herds of people together at this end of the world. It's lovely, actually. The challenges, some of the challenges we've had sort of getting to this particular point have been mostly logistical. I mean, you think about the number of places that have universities, including how far apart they are, and trying to include everybody in some of the events that want to put on is a challenge. Yeah? So one of the things to actually help with that, there's a little Zoom movie camera there, and we'll just capture some parts of the day and edit appropriately, so we can share with other colleagues from other universities. We'll put it on the HERDSA site to share. If you don't want to appear on the camera, let me know. I'll make sure it gets edited out. Right? So we'll capture the plan for the day. The kind of things we're going to do. I mean, we've got a sheet today to say the kinds of activities we've got going, and some of you may not feel up to actually taking part in activities. It's a Friday thing, I know. You get that, but I think you'll probably warm up to it. We have 6 speakers who are going to share their work, share papers that they presented, okay, in the area of higher education, research and development. And as this is a development day, and what people have asked for, and Jason will cover this, is some assistance with or some ideas around developing publications, developing research in higher education at various levels. Okay, some of you are going to have to be really experienced in this sort of stuff, some maybe not so. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get some collaborative exercises going and try and develop some plans. And of course, with the collaboration, you also develop a number of possibly new partnerships and collaborators to work with through the exercise. So we'll work on that as well. Okay, so HERDSA Queensland hasn't really had a place or a face or an opportunity to actually execute since probably 2.5 years ago, I would suggest. I think Deanna was the last, I say president, I'm not sure that's the right word, but I mean, a convener of HERDSA Queensland. Okay, so since the HERDSA conference here in 2011, a number of people said we really ought to have something local again, get it started up. So Jason's technical abilities allowed us to actually sort of survey a number of people. 140 HERDSA members in Queensland. So like 30 will be here today, I would imagine. Is that right? Something like that. So again, localised nature. They said we need help in these particular areas. We'd like to sort of take part in these kinds of things. We'd like to see these kinds of people. So we've actually sort of we've got a plan. Okay, so and HERDSA, the national HERDSA body has said, okay, we'll reincorporate, if that's the right word, not in a business sense, but okay, so we're now HERDSA Queensland and Northern New South Wales. Okay, one of the things was the Northern New South Wales universities said, well, we're closer to you than we are to Sydney, can we sort of join in with you guys? Yep, okay, so open the doors, and it makes sense, make a nice community of this. The state boundaries are only sort of really useful for football and things like that, I think. Not that I follow that, of course. Alrighty, so the kinds of things we're going to do today, as I said, a number of activities, and there's a couple of things that the activities will actually meet a couple of the goals that we wanted, a couple of the outcomes that we wanted. One was to actually sort of, people who didn't get to the HERDSA, last HERDSA conference, hear some of the work that was presented there, okay, so that some of the stuff. Also to try and understand the processes that people went through in developing their work, and we're going to try and work with that as well, so we'll share that. And hopefully at each of the tables there'll be a little bit of experience and some collaboration as possible with that massive knowledge, if you like, that's at the table. So at the end of it all, we should have some working knowledge, a little bit of experience of going through the processes, of dealing with a bit of framework in terms of developing a paper, a research paper or a research process in higher education. And we'll probably have some plans and a number of good friends at the end of the day. So I'll leave it at that pretty much. There will be some activities, as I said. The basic 3 areas are coming up with a research question, if you like, or a research project. The second part is actually developing that research and executing the research, and the third part is around dissemination of that research. So it sort of makes sense. I've also got a few resources that we'll share via the HERDSA website, the HERDSA Queensland site. One from Keith Trigwell, again, sort of how to develop research in the area. Nice little exercise. What I'll do at this stage is I'll hand over to Jason. He can set the scene. I suppose I should introduce myself as well. I'm Steve Drew, so I work at GIRG at Griffith University. Welcome everybody. Hand you over to Jason.